As we begin to shift into a deeper understanding of the world around you, consider this. What if everything you see, touch and imagine is already infused with the presence of the divine? Take a moment now as you listen to allow your mind to explore this idea effortlessly and curiously, just as a child would with something new and wondrous. Everywhere you look, there's a glimmer of sacred energy. That flower blooming by the sidewalk, a whisper of divine creativity. The person across from you, a reflection of God's loving gaze back. You don't have to believe this fully right now. Instead, let the thought softly settle, like leaves on water, becoming more natural with each moment. What if the boundaries we see, the space between you and me, the sky and the earth, they're merely illusions? Imagine this intricate web of connection, where every thread hums with divine life. And as you consider this, notice how your awareness begins to expand outward, gently weaving itself into the greater whole. Now close your eyes if you wish, or simply soften your gaze. Feel the chair beneath you, the breath flowing through you. With each breath, imagine a veil lifting, revealing more of God's presence in this moment. Isn't it fascinating how the divine feels closer, as if it's been waiting patiently for you to notice? Next time you see a tree, don't just see its leaves. Sense its quiet dignity, the divine artistry of its branches reaching skyward. In its stillness, find a reflection of something greater. Without even trying, you begin to sense the sacredness woven into the ordinary. Imagine a face that frustrates you. Now pause. Beneath their action, their words, there's a deeper truth, a piece of the divine looking back at you. Let that truth hover in your awareness. How does this shift your perspective? Even if nothing changes outwardly, isn't it fascinating how inwardly you soften just a little? Picture something simple in your life, a cup of tea, a sunny afternoon. Hold it in your mind. What if this moment too is a sacred gift? Gratitude isn't something you need to force. It arises naturally when you see these everyday blessings as tiny glimpses of love. Every step on this path, every shift in perspective happens effortlessly and naturally. Even now, the seed of this understanding is growing effortlessly within you, rooted deeply in the soil of your consciousness. And you may find over the coming days that you look at the world just a little differently, noticing hints of divinity, where before there was only the mundane. And isn't that a wonderful way to see? So as you listen to these words, notice how easy it is to simply relax into the experience, as if something deep inside you is already listening more closely than ever before. You don't have to try. Your unconscious mind is always listening, and it knows how to find meaning, connection and truth, naturally, effortlessly. You might begin to wonder or even imagine how it feels to know that every object, every sound, every breath, it's charged with the essence of something greater. You don't need to understand it fully. You can simply let the idea sink in, like a warm ray of sunlight gently touching your skin, leaving you curious and open. Right now, as you listen to this, a small part of you is starting to notice things differently. Isn't it fascinating how as you think about the divine, you might start seeing it in the smallest details, the textures of a leaf, the rhythm of a stranger's footsteps, the quiet hum of existence around you. And the more you notice, the easier it becomes. Think about the idea of separation. It's just an idea, isn't it? Like a dream you wake up from, realizing it was never real. What if the divine presence wasn't just in you, but in everyone, everything? Imagine looking at someone and without trying, feeling that you're gazing into the reflection of God. You might not even realize you're doing it at first, but what if, little by little, this became the way you saw everyone and everything? Take a moment now to simply let this possibility grow stronger, like roots spreading deep into rich, fertile soil. Each time you interact with the world, these roots become stronger, grounding this belief deep within you. And isn't it interesting how the more you open your awareness, the more you begin to notice what was always there. So just imagine a lens, once foggy, now becoming clearer and clearer, as your awareness expands, as your senses sharpen. You might even begin to notice little sparks of the divine everywhere. They could be in the way sunlight dances on water, in the laughter of a child, or even in the silence between words. And you don't have to rush. Your unconscious knows exactly how to unfold this awareness at just the right pace. So picture yourself in a simple moment, perhaps washing your hands, sipping tea, or walking outside. Imagine a quiet voice inside whispering, "This too is sacred." Feel how that changes the experience, even just a little. And as these moments happen more and more often, it becomes easier to feel deep reverence for life itself, doesn't it? And isn't it wonderful to realize that you carry this sense of sacredness with you, always, like a gentle light that warms and guides you? Think about someone you care for deeply. As you hold their image in your mind, notice how easy it is to sense love growing, like a soft glow. And now imagine extending that glow to someone else, perhaps someone you don't know well, and then someone you've struggled with. What if each of these people held a piece of the divine within them? What if seeing them in this way made it easier to feel connected, compassionate, and at peace? Even if it feels like just a thought now, notice how it grows more real each time you entertain it, shaping the way you move through the world. Gratitude, such a simple word, isn't it? And yet, when you feel it, really feel it, doesn't it shift something inside you? Imagine waking up tomorrow and without even trying, noticing one thing, just one, that feels like a gift. Maybe it's the sunlight filtering through your window, the sound of a bird, or a steady rhythm of your breath. And imagine this tiny act of noticing. It unlocks something profound, opening your heart to the divine presence in all things. So take a moment now and simply notice how easy it is to be here, present, open to what's unfolding, without needing to try. Your unconscious mind can begin to listen deeply and to absorb what it needs to in its own unique way. So imagine for a moment you're standing in a vast, endless field of light. The light's warm, gentle, and soothing. It doesn't just surround you, it flows through you, through everything and everyone. What if this light were the presence of the divine? And what if it's always been there, waiting for you to notice? Even now you might start to sense it, just a little, a feeling, a knowing, a quiet shift. The divine, it's in the air you breathe, the ground beneath your feet, the spaces between your thoughts. You don't have to search for it, it's already here. All you need to do is allow yourself to notice. Picture a drop of water falling into a vast ocean. The drop doesn't disappear, it becomes one with something greater. Now imagine that you are the drop, and the ocean is the divine. Any sense of separation fades away, doesn't it? And as you interact with the world, you may begin to see this more and more clearly. The line between you and others, between the sacred and the ordinary, it blurs until all you see is unity, connection, oneness. And each time you see this, it becomes a little easier, a little more natural, doesn't it? So think about the simplest moment, opening a door, tying your shoe, hearing a bird sing outside. What if in that moment you felt the quiet presence of God, not in a dramatic way, but as a soft, steady current flowing beneath everything? You don't need to force this feeling. It's enough to let it rise, slowly and surely, from somewhere deep within. And as you move through your day, these moments of awareness, they begin to multiply, like drops of rain forming a river. They connect, build, and carry you forward into a life filled with sacred presence. The next time you see someone, anyone, pause for just a heartbeat. Imagine beneath their surface there's a light, the same divine light that flows through you. You might not see it at first, but it's there. And isn't it interesting how, when you allow yourself to look at that light, it often starts to reveal itself, even with people who challenge you. Notice how the simple thought softens your view. As you see the divine in others, you also begin to see it more clearly in yourself. This mutual reflection deepens, without effort, day by day. Gratitude is like a key. It unlocks the door to divine awareness. Take a moment now and think of one thing you're grateful for. Just one. It doesn't have to be a big thing. It could be the feeling of your breath, steady and reliable. As you hold this thought, notice how your heart begins to open, just a little. And as it does, imagine the presence of God flows in, filling every corner of your being. Gratitude isn't something you have to create. It's already there, like a treasure waiting to be found. And each time you find it, the door to the divine awareness opens a little wider. Even now, as you hear these words, something inside you is shifting, growing, becoming. This isn't something you need to force. It's happening all on its own. Over the coming hours and days, you might find yourself noticing the world differently. Colours a little brighter, sounds a little clearer, people a little more radiant. This is the divine, quietly revealing itself to you in every moment, in everything, in every one. And the more you notice it, the more natural it feels. As if it's always been there, because it has. This awareness becomes a part of you now, effortlessly, deep, permanently, guiding you towards a life filled with reverence, connection and love. And isn't that a beautiful way to live?